All right, let's talk about Ripple's XRP. You know, it feels like it's standing at a really interesting crossroads right now. Is it about to make a huge move, or is all this chatter just, well, noise? In this explainer, we're going to dig into both sides of that coin. We've got the market patterns that are getting traders excited, and then we have the real-world use that could actually be the fuel for the fire. So let's get into it.
So what's all the buzz about, really? Well, it all boils down to one simple but pretty powerful question. Are we about to see history repeat itself with XRP? I mean, if you've been watching the charts, the way things are shaping up right now, it's looking eerily familiar.
And that's really the big question we're trying to answer, isn't it? Are we just looking at a ghost of a past rally, some kind of echo, or is this the actual foundation being laid for a brand new all-time high? To figure that out, we've got to look at two totally different but super important forces that are pulling the strings on XRP's story right now.
Think of it like this. On one hand, you've got the market patterns. This is the stuff traders love, the charts, the data, all the on-chain signals. And on the other hand, you've got real adoption. We're talking about actual partnerships, companies using the tech, the stuff that proves it's more than just a ticker on a screen. And honestly, XRP's future, it really depends on how these two storylines play out, and crucially, if they end up meeting in the middle.
Okay, so let's dive into the first side of this, the story in the charts. What is the data actually telling us? Let's just try to cut through all the hype and the noise for a second and just ask, are the raw signals themselves pointing toward a big change coming up?
Okay, so the big term you're going to hear thrown around is a bullish fractal. And I know that sounds super technical, maybe a little intimidating, but the idea is actually pretty simple. All it means is that the price chart is forming a shape that looks almost identical to a pattern from the past, a pattern that back then came right before a huge price jump. Think back to early 2022. It's kind of like that saying, you know? History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. But here's the thing. This fractal isn't just some random shape on a chart. It's actually being backed up by what's happening on-chain, which is huge. First off, we're seeing clear signs of accumulation. That means people are buying XRP to hold it, not just to flip it. At the same time, the supply of XRP on exchanges is shrinking. That's a big deal because it means there's less immediate pressure to sell. And maybe most importantly, the price is holding strong at a really critical support level. That's a classic sign of market strength.
So, what's the takeaway here? Well, when you mix a powerful historical pattern with strong on-chain data like this, it's kind of like the perfect recipe for a potential trend change. Now look, it's not a crystal ball, nobody has one of those, but it is a very strong signal, and you can bet that the smartest investors out there are paying very, very close attention.
But hey, a cool chart pattern isn't the whole story, right? It's never enough on its own. For a rally to really last, to be sustainable, you need something real backing it up. You need real-world adoption. And that brings us perfectly to the second half of the XRP story. This massive push for actual, real institutional use.
And this quote just nails it. It really gets to the core of what Ripple is trying to do. See, their endgame isn't just about pumping the price. The real goal is to weave their technologies so deep into the fabric of the current financial system that it becomes, well, essential, indispensable.
And look, they're not just talking the talk. Ripple is making some serious moves. They're teaming up with huge companies like DXC Technology to build out global payment systems. You've got major exchanges like Binance creating educational stuff to help bring more institutions into the fold. This isn't just crypto for crypto's sake. What they're building here is a bridge, a really stable, reliable bridge to the world of traditional finance.
And that right there is the crucial difference maker. The last time a chart pattern like this showed up, it was pretty much all hype, all speculation. This time, it feels different. This time, it's standing on a solid foundation of actual utility and serious corporate buy-in. And that, my friends, is a potential game changer.
Okay, so we've got the charts looking interesting, and we've got the real-world use case building up. The technicals and the fundamentals are starting to align. So, what could all this mean for XRP's future? Let's look at a few ways this could all play out by, say, 2026.
So let's start with the bullish case, right? In this future, that fractal pattern confirms all the on-chain signals stay positive and institutional adoption just kicks into overdrive. That's your path to new all-time highs. Then there's the neutral scenario. Here, XRP might just move sideways, kind of building up steam and consolidating while the market waits for some big catalyst to show it the way. And of course, you've got the bearish side. In this version, those key support levels we talked about, they break, market sentiment sours, and a bad macro environment could just pull XRP down with everything else.
So yeah, it really does leave us at this fascinating fork in the road.
The whole story really comes down to this one question. What's going to write the next chapter for XRP? Is it the story told by the charts and market patterns? Or is it the one being paved, brick by global finance?
But when you really think about it, it's probably not a case of one versus the other. The real magic, where the truly explosive potential lies, is when those two things, the charts and the fundamentals, finally come together. The projects that are going to win in the long run won't be the ones with the craziest charts. They'll be the ones that have a real, undeniable impact on the world. And for XRP, that convergence, well, that's the story we should all be watching.